Alrighty, what's up, Dragon Brood? So today we're going to do something a little bit different. And it involves +1/+1 counters, right? We've made the green-white deck, the Selesnya version, which you saw most recently. We've also done some black-green versions, and we've also done the Abzan version, putting all those together. But that does leave one color combination that we actually haven't taken advantage of. Oh, excuse me. And that's black-white. Now, does that really work? I mean, here's the thing. Going into this whole experiment, my first thought is it's going to have to be worse because green is kind of the linchpin that holds both of these together. Like, you get stuff like Snakeskin Veil, as an example, or even a creature that gives you an additional +1/+1 token, right? You don't have those things to help accelerate you, protect you, whatever, that you normally would have with green if you're just playing the black-white version. So that puts us in a little bit of a weird situation. However, this does open up the door for some other cards we don't normally use. So that's what we're going to be trying today and seeing if we can actually make this work. Do the +1/+1 counters even matter? Is it good just because the cards are good that we put into it? Is there any good synergy there? There's like a lot of questions we need to answer to decide if this even works. And this is kind of the stuff that happens when you get late in the season and we're just trying to say, like, what haven't we tried? And seeing if we can dig up a few things and make it work. So, let's roll the credits and get to it. Now, for starters, I will say this. Like, the toughest thing about this deck building was that you don't have a lot of quality 1-mana creatures. And that kind of put me in a situation of having to decide how aggressive we want the deck to be, right? If we can't rely on a turn 1 creature every game, or we're not going to have those games where we have like 3 creatures out to start turn 2, like, should we be playing a little bit slower? Should we be a little more conservative? Or what is it we're going to be trying to do in the long run? So there was a lot of questions to answer while we're putting this together. But starting at the top, we do have Star Pupil. You can pile counters on this whenever it dies. You put its counters on another creature. So that does come into play and allow you to do a few interesting things. We do have Professor's Warning, which is kind of like a Snakeskin Veil. Not really. Because, you know, Snakeskin Veil gives you hexproof, I believe, but then also gives you +1/+1. This kind of gives you either or, but it does make something indestructible, which is very nice to have here as an option for one black mana as an instant. Luminarch Aspirant. If you've seen any of the other creature decks I have with white, you just play this card. It's good. It's going to be around for a long time in Standard. Just craft them and have them. They're going to be good for you. Now, this is a card I've been interested in, right? Because we've tried to play it in a few lists, and oftentimes I cut it because it's just okay. But here, the Imbros is actually really good, right? If you have a bunch of stuff with counters and then stuff dies, you're going to get extra cards. But you can also occasionally just get to take out one of your own creatures if you need to, or put an extra point of damage on the opponent's creatures to kill them. So other than just being a 4/4 body on top of it, it's actually really useful in this list. So I kind of like it. I almost went to a full 4 of these. I'm not sure I want 4, but I at least want 3 to start with to see how we feel about it. Then we do need some other real removals, so we're playing Heartless Act. 4 Humiliates. This is just to kind of help, really, this whole, like, Humiliate and Spellbinder, these really just help regulate the game and let you get to the point where your counters are built up and you can do some things. The other thing, though, I will say, and I've learned this over a few different deck experiments, is that playing with Humiliate alongside Spellbinder is a little tough, right? Because you have to think about, like, how aggressive you're going to be on the turn you make the play. So if you think being more aggressive can close the game for you, depending on what you believe the opponent may have, then you kind of lead with the Spellbinder first. So you can just get that extra damage over a couple turns. If not, then you kind of lead with Humiliate first to make sure your opponent can never cast the other thing, right? Because, well, Spellbinder, let's say you take something that costs 2 or 3, well, you know they're still going to be able to play it in a turn or two. Whereas if you use Humiliate, you can just get rid of it, if it's a card you're concerned about. Now, the other side of that is you could also play Spellbinder first, then play Humiliate if the other thing costs like 4 and you know you have time to get it out of the opponent's hand. So there's a lot that these two cards kind of, you have to play with them a little bit to learn what's better and what's not, but they're both very useful, even in the same deck. Playing 2 Skyclave Apparitions just as a little extra removal to help us out here. Doesn't really do anything in the way of counters or anything else. It's just really clearing the way. Sparring Regimen. This is one card I almost want a third copy of. Just being able to go get a lesson is nice. You know, being able to pump a creature every turn is great. Being able to basically have something with Vigilance every turn is great. And then don't forget, you have stuff like Shael Imbros that actually have activated abilities that you get to use and still get to attack with. So that's pretty cool too. Then we have Bozer's Lieutenant because things with counters die, you get more creatures. Nothing wrong with that. One Kaya, the Inexorable, just as an extra removal card and to get to do some fun stuff with this. And then we're getting to play Shadrick's Silverquill because one of his abilities is putting counters on things. Will it matter? I don't know, but it's a double strike flyer. So that's got to count for something, and this is one of the few decks I have that Shadrick's goes in, so we're going to try it. Then for mana, we're playing 1 Amaria's Call, 8 Plains, 6 Swamp, 4 Bright Climb Pathway, 3 Shine Shadow Snarls, and 2 Fabled Passage. So nothing too surprising there land-wise. We're not trying to do anything crafty. Just cast our spells on time and do a bunch of fun stuff. Well, you know, that's it. We're going to go play some games, and as always, catch up with me at the end of the video because I do talk about some updates, things we may change or not about the list, and then have a card spotlight from just a random point in Magic that maybe you'll learn a little something from. Is that I've already played a lot of the other +1/+1 counters decks, whether you're talking about Abzan or Golgari or, you know, Selesnya. So, like, this just doesn't hold the same place, I think, for me. But it's still not bad. Hey, they didn't, like, turn 2 Daxos, because that seems to be the play, like, all the time. Gotta play this first. I said, man, I really want to just humiliate here, to be honest. But I guess since I have Spellbinder next turn, it's fine. Even if the Aspirant gets taken by, like, an Apparition or something. Gets a little dicey if they just drop, like, Heliod here or something. Linden's not much better for us. Alright, let's try this. See what we can find. Because we definitely want to take a Heliod if it's there. And buy us some time. But I don't know, maybe we could have discarded... Oh. Well. I guess we have to take the Blade Historian. Okay. I guess we know what the opponent's going to do next turn. So do we just split our counters here? Like, they can get rid of Apparition. We block. They sacrifice the Selfless Savior. Then we get to kill something with the Heartless Act. I guess that's the line that's about to happen. I don't really know here. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem a little spotty. No attacks, though. I don't think we get to attack there. Okay, we knew that was coming. I think maybe the mistake was just Humiliate, because then I could just get rid of the Blade Historian and there's no chance of them ever playing it. Might have been smarter. I mean, they gain the life. We just kill this. They sacrifice the Selfless Savior. Alright. Kinda got what we wanted. Question is, how brave are we? Oh, man, if they just drew it, they just drew it. I'm kind of feel like I'm willing to give it to them. But if... I say that, but if they draw... Gosh dang it. We gotta do this. I don't want to, but we have to. Alright, that wouldn't have been that bad, I guess. Trying to decide what I want to do here. If I kill Linden, because I could let him attack with everything, but then... Ugh. Yeah. I sort of want to kill the Apparition, get the 2/2, block the Speaker. Then they're only really left with Linden and this thing next turn. But then we could have a 4/5 and not care. Also, we could just have Kaya and not care if we draw land. So we let them have the life if we do this. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, they didn't commit, so we have to kill this instead, unfortunately. Opponent was too smart for us. So sad. Gonna play this. Put a counter on it. This just allows us to block Linden even with double strike and kill it. Also has protection from Blade Historian whenever that turn happens. Alright. This isn't a bad thing. We can... Yeah. Let's just take away any options from the opponent.
Death is inevitable. So when I say go, you go.
Okay. Opponent opted not to do anything there. Let's see what this turns into. Because we can go get a swamp here. We can humiliate onto... Man, so many... Like, it's weird. I feel like I've been running into multiples of these type of decks the last couple days. But it is what it is. We'll find ways to work with it. So we're going to play a Apparition for Apparition game? That's going to be annoying. So we're going to take their Aspirant with our Apparition to have them take our Apparition to the 2/2 pack. Ugh, that's so gross. Almost feel like we have to take their Apparition and just let them have Heliod and just hate ourselves. Alright. I think this is the wrong line. I'm trying something completely different here, and I don't think that's the right play. But I'm just kind of banking on, like, can we survive long enough to get the mana we need to play our other cards? Like, we were hoping that was going to happen, because if they would have played the Alseid, that would have went really poorly for us. So then our only other option here, because they have another Aspirant, is to go ahead and take Speaker. Because otherwise Speaker would just be a 2/2, and then that becomes a problem. I mean, they can play Aspirant, Alseid, and there's like nothing we can do about it, right? They just have a big 3/3 there. Now, the good news is we can play our Luminarch Aspirant, turn one of our things into a 3/3, and make that into a whole game. With something having Indestructible, which is kind of nice. No attacks. Here comes Heliod, which we knew was going to be a thing. I guess we double block here. I mean, I don't really want to give up the Aspirant because our hand's not that great. But we do have Sparring Regimen, if nothing else, next turn. So, yeah, we just block. They're going to make kills sure to kill the Aspirant. Actually... Nah, that doesn't really do anything. Same thing. I was just thinking I could put a +1/+1 counter on that apparition first since they're dealing damage to that second here. I'm going to put a counter and see if that helps the apparition live. Assuming I'm looking at this correctly. Did they order that left? Normally they order it left to right, so I'm hoping that's correct. Okay, cool. So now if we don't get Bozer's Lieutenant off the ground, we can still Sparring Regimen. Turn this into a 5/5. Yeah, I think that's our only real play here. Get this thing. Yeah. Man, no mana. We did what we could, but no mana here is real bad. Real bad for us. We're not happy about this scenario. This is about the worst thing that could have happened. Oh, never mind. That's even worse. I guess the plus side is we do have things we can do if we get our mana, but that is not how we get there, unfortunately. So what are we trying to do here? I mean, the opponent's going to be able to gain life. We could turn their Heliod into just a bum. Oh, man, no mana here. Just, I don't think we can win now. Or if we'd had maybe our own apparition or aspirant to maybe push the issue a little bit, but I don't know what we can do here. I mean, obviously, we got to attack at least. That's a thing. But now, if they even just play a creature, then we also have to deal with Heliod. So we're probably just dead next turn. Like, we could play chump blockers, but yeah, we got nothing. No mana there's just not letting us operate, sadly. Oh, no. This hand is not good. We need to go first in some of these. How about we do that, Arena? That would help us a lot. This hand is not great unless we draw a basic off the top. I'm going to do this since we're on the defensive. Our opponent just turns one, like, Cleric of the whatevers. Like, we're just going to go to another game. I need footage of other games. I can't just play like the same thing all day. Oh, this is surely to go poorly for us. I mean, maybe Star Pupil will take a bullet and leave old Aspirin alone, maybe? I mean, alright. I'll trade for that. I'm down. Like, that was probably the nicest thing that could have happened. Now we have a real situation. Like, do we play the aspirant, let them shoot it, maybe they get something off the top of our library? I guess we go for it. They only have 2 cards. I mean, if they have it, they have it. They might just want to play, like, an axe here or something anyway. Assuming they have land. Because we don't know. Okay, never mind. It was a Bone Crusher Giant. And they had land anyway. Look at that. They had it all. Well, that's super unfortunate. Alright, well, we'll just pass. I mean, we get to kill Robber the Rich. So that's something, I suppose. Unless they just randomly play Torbran or some such here. Hall Monitor. Well, that has haste. Alright. Kind of have to kill this. Really would have liked to have had that apparition in hand for this last turn. Would have been great. But we're not doing too bad. We're at 15 life going into our 4th turn against Mono Red. So it's like, You know, you got, or I guess 14 life. So you got to be somewhat happy with that, you know? I think that's the thing sometimes. You just got to plan out to take the good with the bad and look at the upside. Let's go ahead and just get a plains. We know we can play a big 4-5 in their way. Ooh, that's not bad, though. Do we know... I'm trying to think how scary... You know what? We'll do this anyway. Still feels like the right play. Because even if it dies, we get another blocker. We can do this next turn. Because I can't imagine what they would play there that we would not want them to get on. They can't Embercleave. Torbran's not that scary with just a Hall Monitor out. And we've got a Vigilance Attacker. Oh, that's big too. Damn. I kind of sort of really want to do that. But that also just seems greedy. Alright, let's see if they'll trade us both their creatures. I doubt they will, but maybe. Oh, they will. Fantastic. We will take that exchange. Oh. Huh. Huh. How much do I care about their Crowan War? I mean, they don't have the mana. You know what? I'll let them kill our Spellbinder. Because by the time they can play the Giant, they're just trading off for this. So we'll see. Oh, now they have an axe. Never mind. That changes things. What do we go get here? It's tempting to get Mascot Exhibition because we have the ability to play this in one more turn if we find another land. We can make another flyer. We also could just kill an axe. But then we'd also just lose our board. So that's not sexy. I think I'm going to take this in the event of like Embercleave or something. Though we could just do that here. Just turn an axe into a 3-2 or something. But like, I don't think I am. I'm going to attack with both of these. Put the counter there so an axe doesn't have a good block. This also means, you know, an axe can't attack through easily without just trading for a token, which we're kind of okay with if that's the case. They can kill our Spellbinder, but we weren't going to be able to protect the Spellbinder anyway. So the opponent's still just stuck with an axe they can't do anything with, which we love. We like that. We're going to go ahead and do this. Get a big 4/4. So now whenever a creature I control with the +1/+1 on it dies, we get to draw a card. And then I can put a counter on another creature. And then if deal 2 damage to it. So who knows? We'll see what happens. So Embrose is weird. Why is Embrose even a teacher? Because, like, his plan is to just apparently build up his students, and then when they die, he gets a benefit, which is weird, man. Weird. Why are we doing such things? Okay. What do we want to do here? We can exile an axe. Give the opponent... Opponent's going to steal Embrose if they get another land. I think we just... Well, is it even worth exiling an axe? We're going to turn this into a 5. We probably just get to trade for whatever we want. We get to draw a card. If they play that and steal our dude, we could just kill it. So, yeah, we don't do anything here, which is so weird. It doesn't seem right, but... Also, randomly, we could do this if we wanted to deal 2 damage to something. Use it twice with the Sparring Regimen, which is hilarious. Ooh, randomly, we're going to get to use Embrose's ability here. Because we can put a +1/+1 on our thing to make it a 6/6 so we can kill both of them. This is dumb. This deck's so quirky and weird. And then we get a card for sport. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. And then we'll just hold on to this. Because we can play both of these next turn anyway. And like I said, if they get a land and still our Embrose, we don't really care. The only thing that sucks here is if they were to just top deck like a Torbran. That would be rough. But I don't know, they might want to activate their Faceless Haven, attack for 7, put us at 7, and then we're in a real danger zone if they do that. I mean, enough that I would consider... You know what? They probably just have Embercleave here. Yeah. No point blocking. Because, I mean, we're just going to take 4, 5, 6. Like, that's okay. Like, not great, but it's fine, you know. Okay, what are we going to do here? Opponent's at 10. We can get 4, 5. How do we do this? Does it say other creature or just on him? Another target creature. Alright, so we'd have to put it on the aspirant, so that doesn't really work. So we got 6, 7, 8. Man, we can't get quite enough. We are right on the cusp, but not enough. Sadly, I think we have to do this. Gonna put it on the aspirant. I'm going to... this is weird. Because... Alright, we're going to put the counter on the aspirant no matter what. But when we attack, we could actually activate Embrose, kill a 1/1, untap Embrose. He gets to attack, and then I would be able to still kill a 1/1 the next turn. Because he puts a counter, kills one. So it's actually in our best interest to only attack with Embrose. Ah, it didn't let me trigger. Ah, that sucked. Oh well. Needed to put full control on there. Ooh, a Goldspan Dragon. Is that enough to get us dead, though? I mean, opponent has to not attack, right? Though if they get a land next turn and they steal a creature, then we could be dead. What? Opponent just dies now, right? Like, we can put 2 counters on the Luminarch Aspirant next turn. What am I missing? Alright, I guess the opponent's just gonna die for no reason? Yeah, okay. Sure. I mean, I guess I could have killed the 1/1 and not taken any damage. Yeah, like... Of course, I say I want to go first, and then I get, like, the no creature hand, effectively. We'll keep this one, though. Shael, away you go. But yeah, I think that's kind of the tough part. I think all but... Okay, this will be the second deck today we played that wasn't an actual white deck. Well, this Aspirant's dead. Oh, no. I guess it's going to get stomped then. Yeah, interesting, because I think usually if you have a choice, I would probably rather just try to stomp the next thing and just be mana efficient, but maybe they don't have it. I mean, because they might mistake and try to play a creature here and then think, well, next turn it'll be a 3/3 and then I can just hit it then with the Frostbite. But that's double mistake, because if I have something that can protect it, that's bad. If I have something that puts a counter on it in addition to its own, that's bad. So you kind of just need to kill it now. I mean, it's bad for us if the opponent kills it, but that's really the right play. Ooh. Yeah, not the play I would have made. Not the play I would have made. I think we're just going to do this. See what the opponent's up to. Oh, this is just a very quirky mono red deck. And they didn't have the removal. Alright. I mean, I almost put the counter on the Spellbinder just because the Spellbinder can block, but I'm not really that worried about it, knowing that they have the Rimrock Knight's Boulder Rush there. And our plan anyway is just draw another black land so we can just double humiliate. That's the goal. If we do that, then I think we're set. Alright, so they're trying to set up Embercleave time. Understandable. I'm just going to create a situation where it's like, if you draw what you need, you draw what you need. Like, we're willing to race this race. Like, even them spinning a card there, we're still going to be ahead in the race, so I'm okay with it. Only thing, yeah, there's really not much better we draw here. Oh, that's not bad, though. So then the question becomes, do we even care that the opponent Embercleaves here? If all those are going to do is 4, we can make this a 4 or 5. And then just not care. They could play a Castle Embereth and pump everything for 2. We're going to be able to get 3, 6, 7, 8 in at a minimum, no matter what we do this turn. And the opponent's 9. It doesn't kill them, though. I think this is correct. Much as I don't want it to be. And then I think we just go get... I mean, do we just environmental sciences? Kind of sucks if that's the right answer, but it might be. And it's 2 life in this matchup, so let's do it. We'll attack with both. Put the counter here. Opponent can block the 5 if they so choose. They would still be able to Embercleave next turn, so they're probably considering it. Though Embercleave now doesn't punch through anything. So I guess they're going to go for the Castle Embereth as their next big play. Hit us for 6. I mean, this is the problem when you play these super small creatures, though, is that even though you have an Embercleave, you're not going to get through for anything. Especially if you're playing against, like, mono green or something where they have Lovestruck Beasts and Questing Beasts and all this. Like, it just doesn't amount to much. So I see what they're doing here. Like, we're going to attack with just 3. We're going to leave 1 back to block your Luminarch Aspirant. But I'm still willing to throw it in the way. I don't think it changes much. Yep, there's the Embercleave. I mean, if they have another Boulder Rush, that sucks. Okay, I guess they didn't have it. Oh, well, that's cute. Well, then now this works out great, right? Because now we can go get that other swamp. We're at 12. We can attack. Put the counter here. We will attack with the 2 of them. Put the counter here, just as a safety measure. Putting the opponent to 5 or to 4 doesn't really matter unless they deal with our Spellbinder here, which they might. I think they're just going to leave this up, though. I mean, as long as we can Heartless Act, there's really nothing they're going to do to us here. 6/6 is too big for them to deal with. They almost can't attack at all here effectively. They need to draw something to kill our Spellbinder. Okay, so you must have something to pump your... Oh, they're just going to use their land. Yeah, that's fine. They tap the land. We'll just kill their dinosaur, and then that's going to end the game. Yep. So I have to admit, this was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And the mana wasn't really a problem. I think if we're talking about changes, though, and this is going to sound crazy, but the only things I might change would be really figure out how badly we want those 2 apparitions. And if we cut them, maybe just make an extra one like a Heartless Act and another one, maybe another Sparring Regimen, potentially. Because both of those cards are really good. And I think there's just enough times where if you just remove something at instant speed, it allows you to open up your game a little bit to do some other stuff. But they're not like they're bad. You know, the other thing about this deck, too, that I think a lot of people may not notice, is this is actually also largely rotation ready. I mean, if you look back through it, there's only a handful of cards, and they're not, like, you know, it's like Heartless Acts, but those are uncommons, and they're just removal card. We have plenty of stuff we can play in its place. So this actually opens up the door for another deck you could play down the road and still be useful. And you probably already have several of these cards because they're good cards that go in other decks as well. So it's got a lot going for it if you want to build this one. For today's card spotlight, we're going to kind of talk about a group of cards, but we're going to talk about the charms and signets from Ravnica. Or all the reprints that they've had and all the Commander products and such. The reason I bring them up is these are cards that I think people forget about a lot of the times, but they almost always hold some amount of value. Several of the signets and several of the charms you're going to be able to find for like $1, $2, maybe even $3 in some cases. Which means if you want to sell a bunch of them to dealers, you're probably going to get anywhere between 30 cents to like $1, depending on which ones it is. So that's a lot of free money you probably have just sitting in a bulk box that you may not even be aware of. So go check those out, because that's actually something that always is played in Commander decks, and people are always looking for these. For today's deck list, you know you're going to be able to find it down in the description below. But did you know you can also find a lot of other cool stuff down in that description? I have links to so many things. If you check them out, you might find something you like. And if you want to follow anything I do in the stream, I have links for that stuff as well, if you're curious how we put it together. But most importantly, if you want to go ahead and come join our Facebook or Twitch streams, or if you want to just come join our Discord and get deck help or just talk about things, you can do that too. And the links for that stuff is down in the description below. And then, finally, if you haven't, don't forget, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because that helps out so much and helps us get in front of more people. And that's what really helps our channel grow. And it lets you be notified every time we have a video up. Also, I do send out notices whenever stuff's going up or cool things are happening. Or sometimes there's just reminders of free things on Arena. And if you're a subscriber, you get those notifications. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.